Thanks for joining us. I'm Leanie Lambrink. Inuit Circumpolar Council Canada chose its new president just an hour and a half ago. Herb Nakamayak from the Inuvialuit region has won with 11 of the 13 votes. He beat out Kikivak Kabluna, former chief executive officer of the Nunavut Tungavik Incorporated. That was after a lengthy voting process. Trouble with electronic voting forced the vote to happen by paper. Nakamayak has been acting president of ICC Canada since September 2025. That was after several changes in leadership that made him question the stability of the organization.
I thought it would be the end of ICC, of us, just because of the status of where we sit in some areas and some forums in this world where integrity at times gets lost when we don't speak on behalf of the people, when we don't speak on behalf of who we are as rights holders.
Nakamayak will be sworn into the role on Saturday with the rest of the Executive Council. The sounds of an accordion welcoming people who've traveled from other parts of Inuit Nuna to Iqaluit. They've arrived for the 15th Inuit Circumpolar Council General Assembly, which officially starts tomorrow. There are many items on the agenda, including Inuit sovereignty, Arctic security, and the appointment of a new ICC chair. The outgoing chair from Greenland says it's the first time in 8 years they're meeting in person and with full participation from all member parties.
For us to be in the same room will be so important, and we have really missed that. And it's so nice and warm to arrive here in Iqaluit and be so welcomed and just, listening to the music. My son was saying it's like Galet Dut at home, where we dance polka.
Later this evening, the ICC Executive Council will hold its first meeting. It'll be a closed-door session. Weather conditions continue to be challenging for fire crews in Wrigley, Northwest Territories. Temperatures are expected to hit 30 degrees today, with similar weather forecasted for tomorrow. One bit of good news, winds have shifted and are expected to push the fire to the north, away from the community. It's about 5 kilometers from town. The fire has gradually been growing closer, forcing the last remaining essential workers out of the community over the weekend.
Oh my goodness, like the whole way. You couldn't even see across the Mackenzie while we're waiting for the ferry, but they were able to cross, which is good. And then we had to be escorted from the Julie ferry halfway to Simpson because there was active burning, like there was trees on fire.
Crews are still in Wrigley working to strengthen fire breaks and protect the community. A planned ignition to burn off fuel is still planned for today, depending on the weather.
We're doing everything we can. We've got lots of precautions in place. This planned ignition for blacklighting or creating a perimeter around the community is all in preparation for the worst, but we're hoping for the best.
As parts of the Northwest Territories contend with smoke, the United States is threatening to fine or slap tariffs on Canada for smoke blowing south. Evan Dyer looks at the new American push for retribution.
Over 700 wildfires are burning out of control in Canada right now.
It's probably the most explosive fire behavior, I've ever seen.
In northern Ontario, about 1,800 people have fled, and some say they had to fend for themselves.
We spent the night in boats. We had disabled people, babies, young kids, pregnant women, all of us in boats lined up, ready to roll.
Canada finds itself also fighting political fires in Washington, where Republican Senator Bernie Moreno of Ohio presented a bill that would impose sanctions on Canada as retribution for smoke drifting into the United States. It proposes the expulsion of Canadian diplomats and a series of financial sanctions.
This sounds pretty goofy to me.
This former U.S. senator says he doesn't think it will pass.
The truth is that we've had plenty of wildfires in Montana and Washington and Idaho, and I know they've had in BC and Alberta. It's a fact of life, and people do their best to try to combat it.
The path of the smoke has drifted somewhat, bringing some relief to states like Michigan and Ohio, but at the expense of Illinois and Wisconsin. Rain and a cold front are expected to improve air quality over the Midwest in the next few days. Still, after Sunday's World Cup final, Donald Trump said he demanded Mark Carney act.
I told him, you got to stop these fires from coming in and, poisoning our air.
Carney said on Monday fighting fires is a collective effort.
I made this point to the president. The contributions that Canadians have made in American disasters. And we're grateful for American, South African, Mexican firefighters.
Ontario's premier didn't hide his frustration.
And rather than sit there and complain, why don't we see some help from President Trump and send up some water bombers, send up some wildland firefighters.
But far from offering help, the Trump administration now says the president has asked his officials to give him options for new tariffs tied to the smoke. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Ottawa.
More on Donald Trump's tariff threats. Prime Minister Mark Carney says trade talks with the U.S. are going to intensify after Trump's fresh promise to slap 50% tariffs on a wide range of Canadian goods. As Kate McKenna reports, the latest chapter of the trade war is dominating the Premier's meeting on Prince Edward Island.
Another wave of American tariff threats and another push for a breakthrough, even as U.S. President Donald Trump once again plans to break the existing free trade deal.
I'd spoken with the president. We agreed to intensify discussions. We'll begin that right away.
On Monday, the White House announced plans to put a 50% tariff on some $28 billion in Canadian exports, from hockey sticks to alcohol. They say it's in response to Canada's unfair trading practices, set to take effect in 30 days.
We will look at all options in terms of how we would respond if they do come into effect. That's part of what we'll be discussing with premiers.
Canada's premiers meeting in Charlottetown for an annual summit upended their agenda to meet with Prime Minister Mark Carney virtually.
The Prime Minister gave us a comprehensive update, but I guess the bottom line is we find ourselves just again with another in a series of unjustified, unwarranted tariffs from the United States.
Premiers of two large provinces, BC and Ontario, say they won't back down on one major U.S. irritant, putting American booze back in liquor stores.
There is not a chance in hell that U.S. alcohol is going back on the shelf in British Columbia.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford says Canada should go further and hit back, dollar for dollar.
We have to go forward, take the offense. We are an energy powerhouse. And we could dismantle the U.S. if we wanted to, if we all work together.
Behind closed doors, sources say the Prime Minister told the premiers that Donald Trump's threats are a tell and that the booze ban is hurting the U.S. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Charlottetown.
NWT Premier R.J. Simpson says these tariffs are ultimately a tax on Americans and that Canada's premiers want the same outcome on the issue.
The agreements that we sign, they're upheld to an extent, but not fully. And this is just an extension of that. So I don't think this is the beginning of the end. I think CUSMA is important obviously to us, but it's very important to the United States. They're facing an affordability crisis right now as well. And so, these tariffs are really a tax on Americans. And I don't think that the getting rid of CUSMA would be popular, not that there seems to be much concern about what's actually popular in the United States, but it would have such a significant impact on people's everyday pocketbooks that I think it's probably not in the cards in the near term at least. There's always different ideas. That's the great thing, that we can come together and have discussions about those ideas. Ever since I've been at this table, I've been amazed at the solidarity. Yeah, there's differences of opinions, but every time we're in that room, we're all pulling in the same direction. We all want the same outcome for Canada, and so I'm confident that we're going to continue to stay united in the face of these new threats.
The Government of Canada is building 23 new housing units for federal workers in Iqaluit. The new complex was announced today. It will be built on Niku Lane behind the Northwest Hell building. It replaces 3 old units that have been demolished. Arctic Fresh Projects received the more than $35 million contract. It comes from a federal program that prioritizes Canadian supply chains and workers.
The project will transform 3 underused federal properties into 23 new housing units, helping reduce pressure on Iqaluit's limited housing market.
The housing complex is expected to be done by 2028. Some Indigenous people who rely on a federal program for counseling are worried. Ottawa has put renewals for residential school trauma counseling on hold. The federal government told therapists back in May not to give existing clients more sessions or take on new clients.
It came very abruptly. I had no knowledge of it.
Catherine Blondin was shocked to find out funding had been put on hold when she tried to book a counseling session a few weeks ago. She's been relying on a federal program that lets her access counseling for free as someone who's working on healing from intergenerational residential school trauma.
I want to see these patterns and these behaviors change. I want to see us be healthy, happy Indigenous people. We're very strong and resilient because we've had to be, but we need that continuity of care in order to make that healing impactful.
In late May, the federal government told contracted therapists it was putting the program on hold, meaning they should not renew existing patients for more sessions and they should not take on new clients. CBC spoke with 2 service providers who provide counseling through the program and agreed not to name them to protect their work. They said they feel the pause on the program is putting them in an impossible situation. One put it this way: this is just putting a really huge ethical pressure on practitioners to choose between client care and their own financial sustainability. It's also affecting some people's trust in Ottawa's commitment to reconciliation.
Because you're talking about the people that you hurt, and it just adds to the mistrust again. The government is still doing this to us. You know what I mean? That's what I feel like. They're still doing this to us. As a Métis woman, I'm still kicked to the curb again. That's how it feels.
Indigenous Services Canada declined CBC's request for an interview. In an emailed statement, a spokesperson said, "We recognize that uncertainty and delays in service approvals may have caused some challenges for some clients and service providers, and we sincerely regret any inconvenience or impact experienced." Funding was approved in March, but there were delays in approving invoices at the end of the fiscal year. Indigenous Services says it has received its funding, but did not say what that means for the pause on the counseling program. Sarah Saint-Pierre, CBC News, Yellowknife.
Nunavut MP Lori Idlout has placed her stake in an Indigenous management consulting firm into a trust. Idlout has a financial stake in Envision Insight Group, Inc. A July 16 disclosure to the Federal Ethics Commissioner says the company has contracts with the Government of Canada. Under federal law, Idlout is not supposed to receive income from the private company. The amount of money involved is not clear. Speaking to reporters today, Idlout says she made this decision voluntarily after pressure from other parties.
The reason that I created the trust agreement is so that I could separate myself from what's going on with Envision. So as such, I have, as an elected MP, I'm never allowed to be involved in any federal contracts, and that's implementing that obligation.
In a December 2022 disclosure, Idlout told her staff not to get training offered by Envision because she holds a significant interest in the company. Yukon's ombudsman is looking for more power. The ombudsman investigates allegations that public organizations like government departments or public schools are being unfair. The Ombudsman Act came into force in 1996 and hasn't had any big changes since. To mark the office's 30th anniversary, current Ombudsman Jason Pedlar wants the ability to launch investigations independently and cover municipalities too.
We've heard from municipalities themselves. We've heard from citizens, and we receive complaints quite regularly about a complaint with the municipality, whether it be your garbage collection or some other interaction with the municipality. And unfortunately, we are unable to deal with that complaint because we don't have jurisdiction.
Pedlar says he's the only ombudsman in Canada who can't launch investigations on his own without a complaint from the public. An all-party legislative committee has agreed to review the Ombudsman Act. It will meet with Pedlar in the fall to talk about possible changes. The Carcross Tagish First Nation in the Yukon has lost a respected elder. Harold Gattensby died of cancer yesterday at the age of 74. Gattensby was instrumental in bringing restorative justice programs to the Yukon. He was born outside of the territory before returning home, where he spent time learning Tlingit culture with his grandmother. As a teenager, he was sent to residential school and later to prison. His wife, Colleen James, says these experiences inspired his work.
Once Harold knew what he was going to do, and he was consistent, about bringing in the culture and getting back to the land and doing ceremony, he really believed and did those consistently his whole life. And so once they were able to work into the prison, him and his brother, Phil, who, they've done legacy work together around the world, whether it was restorative justice.
Besides his groundbreaking work, James says Gattensby's pride and joy was his family, which included many children and grandchildren. The family is accepting visitors at their home in Carcross. U.S. officials say they're confident the likely source of a cyclospora outbreak is lettuce from Mexico, distributed by Taylor Farms. This, despite confusing and inaccurate lab test results over the weekend. As Tashana Reed explains, tracing this parasite is difficult, and so is predicting where the outbreak goes next.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration says it stands by its original call, that the source of the cyclospora outbreak is likely lettuce from Taylor Farms, a day after revealing a lab-confirmed sample from there was a false positive.
It's a large outbreak that's surprising that it's gotten this large without finding a source, but at the same time, cyclospora is one of the more difficult pathogens to track.
Thousands of Americans have become infected, more than 100 hospitalized, with the parasite that can cause severe diarrhea.
This isn't a normal stomach virus that it's going to last, 2 to 3 days and you'll go back to your normal life. It's going to throw off your life for weeks.
Last week, the FDA said it traced the source of the outbreak to shredded lettuce from central Mexico served at Taco Bells in 5 U.S. states. But the only test to officially confirm it was that false positive. In a statement, Taylor Farms said, to be clear, at this moment, the FDA has not identified a single positive product test result for cyclospora. The company issued a voluntary recall that includes dozens of iceberg lettuce and salad mix products distributed to stores in 27 states. There are no recalls in Canada.
The testing for cyclospora is also not incredibly mature, so the tests are not necessarily very reliable.
The FDA says they continue to collect and analyze samples. This false positive lab sample does not change the basis for FDA's ongoing outbreak investigation or the overwhelming epidemiological data supporting the current voluntary recall by Taylor Farms.
For some outbreaks, we never do link it to a food source. The outbreak just kind of ends and we assume it lived out its shelf life.
Canada has seen some cyclosporiasis cases, but not connected to this outbreak. Typically, infections are linked to travel. Ottawa is warning Canadians who are heading to the U.S. to be careful what they eat. Tashana Reed, CBC News, Toronto.
2 days after the World Cup final, players on the losing side are being called thugs and worse over their behavior. Jennifer Yoon looks at Argentina's actions during the tournament and the continuing fallout.
The moment the World Cup final devolved into an ugly brawl. This is how Argentina reacted after their 1-0 loss to Spain.
All hell broke loose, and it was right down in front of us. It was kind of 2 or 3 rolling brawls at the same time.
And when Spain lifted the trophy, the defending champions turned their backs.
Argentina were a complete and utter disgrace today, both with their performance and their antics.
Commentators ripping into the team.
A bunch of thugs, really, at the end of the match.
This violence prompting FIFA to open a disciplinary investigation. But some say Argentina was problematic throughout the tournament.
Vile and very rude, somewhat arrogant behaviour, to the point where they commit fouls like no other, get away with it, don't receive yellow cards, don't receive red cards,
Behavior like this, he says, an elbow to the neck at the semifinals against England. That player, Enzo Fernandez, was given a red card in the final after this tackle. But that foul came too late, say some. This kind of aggressive play has now become synonymous with Team Argentina. And it's a bad look, says this former Team Canada player.
It's the World Cup final. You want it to be the best match of the last 4 years, right? And what are we talking about after the game? We're not talking about how well Spain played. We're talking about how Argentina carried themselves.
Behavior that some would like to see harshly punished.
Something along the lines of heavy and hefty fines, bans if needed, because some sort of lesson needs to be taken from this.
And as for Argentina's captain, Lionel Messi, one of the greatest players of all time, likely on his last World Cup stage, he was left in tears, standing alone, facing his fans as his team fought around him. Jennifer Yoon, CBC News, Toronto.
A pair of canoeists from the Yukon set a new record in an international paddling competition. The Yukon 1000 sees racers paddle from Whitehorse to Dalton Highway in Alaska along the Yukon River. It's the longest competition of its kind in the world. Jake Palechny and Crispin Struder of Whitehorse set a new record in the canoe category. They crossed the finish line in 5 days, 23 hours and 7 minutes. Beating the previous record by roughly 6 hours. Palechny says he and Struder had constant synergy, which is what kept them in line and able to cross the finish line.
We both brought a very similar intensity and focus to it, which is really helpful when you're, 15 hours in to the fourth or fifth day and it's hard, and we're just still both exactly on the same page about what we need to do in that moment. Wow.
The pair say they are happy with the results of this year's race. They aren't in a rush to compete again anytime soon. Excitement is building over a new recreation center in Dawson City. The town's current facility is plagued with structural issues. Extensive groundwork is underway at the new site, and crews are starting to build the actual building.
I think that where we're at right now, like I mentioned, that we're pouring some of the foundation as we speak, and there's still civil work happening. You can hear the bulldozers moving dirt, and we're going to see a prefabricated structure go up this fall, right? And so by September, we expect to see a building stood, and then it'll take a long time to do all of the other work that comes with that, right? And so we anticipate that the building should open in 2028. In August is what we're hoping for. And there's construction. There's no river without a bend, right? And so we're hoping that everything goes to schedule. But it's really, really exciting, and I don't want to use that word too often, but it's really exciting to see how quickly things have progressed, right? From since when we gave the go-ahead to initiate the project, to where we are today. Things have been moving quickly, and I think that that's been really surprising for a lot of the community members, that even those that haven't been involved in the project like myself. And so I can't say the word exciting enough, but I think that it's reassuring to see that we said go and they're going. So this is meant to be a multi-purpose building, right? It's going to be 58,000 square feet, a replacement of a lot of the amenities that we already have in town that are failing. So skating rink, there's going to be a curling rink. There's going to be a walking loop that goes around the outside of the skating rink portion. Inside the building, there's also going to be let's call it a 2/3 size gym. So a multi-purpose room that can be used for banquets, can be used to play basketball, volleyball, pickleball, all those fun things. It's going to have a community programming room that's going to be attached to the curling rink. So it'll act like a lounge at times, but also can be used for more like sedentary kind of programming, meetings, that sort of thing. All of our office space for the recreation department will move, or Parks and Recreation department will move into this building. So there'll be an office. The fitness center will move into this building. There's going to be an indoor playground, which will be great for our kiddos, right? And a community kitchen. Hopefully, I'm just going to say it out loud, speak it into existence. It'd be really great to see our very own Gavin McKenna, Toronto Maple Leaf, Chandaquichin citizen, come here and help us open the building. I'm just saying that out loud. I can't say for sure that'll happen, but I think it'd be a great PR move for us and for them to make that happen.
That is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, head to cbc.ca/north. Some Cleachon elders are in Lac St. Anne, Alberta this week. It's an annual pilgrimage that sees elders gather in prayer, reconnect with culture, and find spiritual renewal. We leave you tonight with some images from there. Thanks for watching. I'm Leanie Lambrink. Have a great night.